End around to Neighbors. Has a crease. Malik Neighbors down the sideline. Stays in bounds with a cutback. House call. Another LSU touchdown.
Hello and welcome into Tigers Roar. I am Jonathan Poche, joined as always by the Budman, Buddy Songy. It is 2023. Certainly appreciate you tuning in and want to wish you all a very happy new year. Hope you had a great holiday, great Christmas season. A lot of football to talk about. It's been a fantastic bowl season, Budman. LSU, of course, took on Purdue 63-7, the final in that one. Tulane upsets USC in the last second victory in the Cotton Bowl. A lot to be happy about. Budman, welcome into Tigers Roar. Great to see you here on a Tuesday.
Happy New Year to everybody. It is a Tuesday, January the 3rd. Oh, by the way, you'll see this tomorrow on Pelican Sports TV, Channel 20. LSU at Kentucky tonight, 10.5-point underdogs. Steamroll Purdue. Tulane, I'm like you, I'm coming back. And, oh, by the way, Lincoln Riley says, don't feel bad for me. He just signed a new personal $5 million deal with Sharman. He was soft at Oklahoma. Yep. He's soft as a baby's butt at USC. And how about those greenies coming back and stealing? Oh, by the way, officiating during the bowl season left a lot to be desired. They don't know what the hell they're doing with targeting.
Or a touchdown catch, right?
And
yeah.
Let's be honest. The Big Ten, it means more because the SEC knows how to finish, and they don't. Harbaugh and Ryan Day with a little egg on their face. But Tigers finished 10-4. We got a lot to talk about. Hope all of you brought it in the right way.
Right, and you talk about that bowl win. Kind of checked all the boxes, right? Got to 10 wins. It was a blowout. Get that nasty taste of those two losses back-to-back. Don't want to go into the offseason with that third loss in a row. Purdue was in a lot of turmoil with the interim head coach. Drew Brees joins the staff. You scored 7 points. I'm sure Drew Brees did draw up that play that got the points, Budman. They were in a tough situation. LSU was supposed to dominate this football game, and they did just that. Could have been a shutout, Budman. I was happy that Purdue got on the board.
Yeah.
When it was 42-0, it got it kind of hard to watch a little bit. I flipped it over to the Tulane game.
Sure. That
was much more entertaining, but a lot of young guys got to play for LSU. A couple different quarterbacks, all three quarterbacks, in fact, got to play. Daniels looked good. Nussmeier did have the interception, but he also did some things in the pocket. Showed a lot of arm talent, Budman. And Malik Neighbors, the MVP of the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, threw for a touchdown, had a touchdown reception, over 150 yards. Outstanding for him to step up in that game where Keyshawn Boutte says he's coming back, but then he's not be available for the ball game. They said he's going to the NFL. So this was his opportunity for Malik Neighbors to step up and show, like, this is my team now. I have the mantle of the LSU wide receiver room. And he showed up and showed out, Budman.
Yeah, Malik Neighbors, I had a lot of people texting me, man, he's pretty good quarterback. Of course, he threw a couple passes.
2 for 2.
One in that touchdown pass to Jaden Daniels. I thought that LSU piled it on a little bit. Look, I'm not trying to be an old fogey here, but last year when Kansas State piled it on LSU, everybody at LSU said, oh, we'll wait till we get you again. I thought that they could have run it and been a little more conservative. But, look, if you want to call those plays against Purdue, let me see that against Alabama. Right. Let me see that against Florida State in the opener, Mike Denbrock. Let me see you throw that out in the big games, and I'll be on with it. But 10-4, I think if you go from 1 to 10 and changing the culture, probably moved up to about 7.5. Booty, let's be honest, it's best for everybody. All summer, all he wanted to talk about was NIL and this and that. Prima donna, he showed out in the SEC championship game. This is the best time for him to go. And, of course, as you know, in spring football, which is coming up in about 3 months, we'll have plenty to talk about with the quarterbacks. But 15 of those 25 recruits will be there. Then you talk about 7 additional portal transfer players like Denver Harris and Aaron Anderson and others. Yeah. So we appreciate all of you out there in TV land hanging with us as we take you through another year of following LSU athletics. Kim Mulkey and the Lady Tigers, number 7. They're going to have a sellout very soon, maybe before the end of the month. And Matt McMahon and them stealing one against Arkansas actually, a week or so ago. So good time to be a Tiger fan. And, oh, by the way, baseball is definitely expected to make it to Omaha.
The NFL, the New Orleans Saints, they were eliminated from the playoffs this past Sunday. Even though they beat what was the best team in the NFC the entire season in the Eagles, they get the victory 20-10. But, man, it's the most Saints move ever to get eliminated on the playoffs in the day that you beat what was the best team in your conference. Tom Brady is going to continue to win the NFC South this season. The Vikings get embarrassed by the Packers, which officially put the nail in the coffin for the Saints. They were still up, 0.02%, but it's over now officially. If they had any hope out there, but they get the win against the Eagles. Of course, the Eagles were missing Jalen Hurts, a few guys out for them, but continued to dominate with Taysom Hill running the football. I was impressed by the Saints. It seems like Dennis Allen kind of got the ship moving in the right direction these last few games. With one left against the Carolina Panthers, how do you feel about the Saints going into the last game?
Yeah, I like what they've done lately. I'm not sold on Pete Carmichael. I still don't think he's cutting edge as an offensive coordinator, but I do think Dennis Allen has started to feel a little more comfortable in his role. Folks, look, we always talk about it, whether it's media, whether it's mamas and daddies, whether it's players, whether it's other coaches. It's not that easy to be a coach and make decisions at the snap of a finger. And I thought Dennis Allen had a little Brooke Trout look early in the year. He seems comfortable. Defense is playing well. And their biggest problem moving forward is what are they going to do at quarterback, and what are they going to do with all this dead money that Mickey Loomis has accrued, $60-something million. But I do like the way that they have played. I just wish that Mark Ingram would have had a little bit more direction instead of going out of bounds, going forward, and the Saints would be in a great situation. They'd be 8-8 right now, and needing to beat Carolina probably to win that division. So all in all, though, some improvements. He's going to stay another year for sure. We'll see. Of course, the Hornets, as we know, now the Pelicans. You go back all the years, and you want to know when is New Orleans going to have two big-time teams, professional football, basketball, in the playoffs in the same year. It won't happen this year because of the Saints, but definitely the Pelicans now, they can keep their guys healthy. They got a chance this year.
Well, of course, there was that Twitter rumor that went around about, 4 days ago that said Sean Payton, Tom Brady back to the Saints. It's going to happen next year, and everybody was kind of trying their brains to put together the pieces well. Sean Payton stepped out a year because he needed some time off. They didn't go out and change a bunch of things. They kept the continuity is what they wanted to promote by keeping Dennis Allen and the entire staff basically in the room. Why not bring a Sean Payton back? But then again, Adam Schefter came out a couple days ago and said the Saints are going to tender they want a first-round pick for Sean Payton. Not only a first-round pick, but they're going to get more than that.
Have you seen what these coaches, whenever they leave, what they have brought? Mickey, I hate to tell you, Mickey, I'd love to play poker anytime you want to, because he's not the greatest at the card table. They ought to get at least a one and significantly more. Look, you love Sean Payton for what he did in 2009. I think his ego is out there so huge, and he is going to get an opportunity to coach next year and make a lot of money. He's already got Vic Fangio as his defensive coordinator. He's already working on his staff. But his wife was tired of New Orleans and wanted to leave, and I think he needs a new start. But, man, Mickey better not play soft on getting those draft picks because they need them.
We have a whole lot more here on Tigers Roar. After this break, we'll talk more about the Citrus Bowl. Before we go to break, I want to remind you guys, check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. It's a great way to keep up with everything we do here on Tigers Roar. If you miss any of this program or any programs in the past, go ahead and check out our YouTube page. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We shoot right here at Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out. We're here each and every Tuesday, just about 4 o'clock, shooting Tigers Roar. You can come get something to eat, check out a ball game. There's TVs all over the place. Big bar with a great bartender serving up some great libations. So come check it out. Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We'll take our first break of the afternoon. Come back. We'll talk a lot more LSU football here on Tigers Roar.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology, which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
The biggest sale of the year is happening right now during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. For a limited time, make no payments for 90 days on every new Honda. That's right, you choose and make no payments for 90 days at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Desire in your eyes, but you can't keep it in your heart. 'Cause misery loves company. 'Cause misery loves company. Cold and hungry like a dog in the street. I get a raw deal every.
We continue here on Tigers Roar. Budman, buddy Songy, Jonathan Poche here from Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Come check it out for lunch. A great deal, lunch special. The Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich, a very good deal, under $8, 2 sides and a drink. Big sandwich, but man, can't beat it. The Boss Hog. Come try it out here at Old School Barbecue. Talking some LSU football, the Cheese It Citrus Bowl from Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida. Also the spot that LSU will take on Florida State this year, I should say, in December 2023, later on when the 2023 season kicks off. A place that Coach Brian Kelly is familiar with. He was very appreciative after the game, thanking the staff and the whole environment around the game. Of course, LSU got there a week early, enjoyed the festivities, had a big to-do with all the players and interacting with the fans at the amusement parks and the whole deal. So it was good for the team to kind of get that bond and share a special environment before going to play a game. And they played really well, Budman. I mean, 63 points. Could have been a shutout. Purdue had no business being on the same field as the Tigers. It was a bad matchup. But LSU was supposed to dominate, and it did.
Yeah, all things considering, Purdue was kind of running on empty like LSU was last year, but LSU did do a good job of staying focused. Did you see his Les Miles moment?
Yeah,
of course, with the Cheez-It Bowl, in case you did not know this, Florida State played in the first one. LSU will play Florida State opening game in Orlando. Thank goodness they replaced that turf a few years ago because it gets a lot of wear and tear. Yep. But they doused him instead of Gatorade. It was Cheez-Its and Cheetos. And did you see him? He went to the ground, picked up, took a bite, and chewed on a little bit. So Brian Kelly is familiar with the history, mannerisms of LSU. That all being said, folks, if you have not looked at this schedule, man, if you take care of Florida State, you've got a chance to post another 10-win season. Now, I don't know anybody in town that predicted that they would win the SEC West in year one. Do you?
No, I don't know anybody.
I don't know anybody in town that predicted that they would beat Alabama in year one.
No.
And I don't know anybody in town that thought that they would win 10 games. We picked 9-4, but we didn't know that they'd have an extra game, so they did go 10-4. But it is a great time. Now you've got to shore up a couple spots. JP, we've seen this through the years. When you get 3 deep at every position, that's when you compete for national championships. And then you throw in that plus 20 turnover ratio. That is what is the kind of stats that you're looking at. But 3 really good quarterbacks coming back for spring. I do think they need a difference maker or 2 at running back. I think the offensive line is going to be even better. I think the tight ends are going to be even better. How about Mason? Mason looked like a grown man now. He didn't look like a freshman yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, 5 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown. We do have some highlights from this past weekend, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, so we'll ask the truck to go ahead and play those. We'll continue the conversation. We saw Garrett Nussmeier, Budman, come in very early in this game. At the 3rd series, Nussmeier was under center. Didn't see a lot of that during the year. Of course, Nussmeier had to come in the SEC Championship game against Georgia. Did have success, was able to throw the ball around the yard. Came in 3rd series of this game and looked pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And for the first time, that we talked about it, of course, I think that maybe he might have to play 2 quarterbacks. Nussmeier brings some vertical ability to throw the football down the field, got a big arm. But Malik Neighbors once again proved out. Here's John Emery. Question about whether he's going to come back or not. We'll see. He gets his score to start things off.
Give us his numbers on the quarterback. Jaden Daniels goes 12 for 17, 139 yards and a touchdown. Also had 6 rushes for 67 yards and that touchdown catch from Malik Neighbors. Then Garrett Nussmeier went 11 for 15, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have the interception. Walker Howard 2 for 4, 7 yards. Did run the ball 3 times for 18 yards. And look, the other 2 quarterbacks look like proud papas when Walker Howard got on the field, right?
And you could tell a lot of interaction between Jaden and Nuss, and they're getting along. By the way, Noah Kane had a really good year this year. 10 rushing touchdowns for the Tigers. And lo and behold, he's got a nose for the goal line. Noah Kane, got to wait to see if he's going to be back, what his role will be next year.
Noah Kane, 8 carries, 58 yards, 2 touchdowns. Talk about the MVP, Malik Neighbors, 9 catches, 163 yards and a touchdown. Was also 2 for 2 for passing and had the throwing touchdown. But that little catch and run, whatever you want to call it, that little dump pass forward where he caught him 75 yards to a touchdown, his speed was different than everyone else on the field at that point.
I think they said that was 21.6 miles per hour. Of course, we know that Jaden Daniels is really fast. Malik Neighbors, and I've been sitting here saying, why don't they give him another opportunity to return punts? And lo and behold, he's got a perfect deep ball from Nussmeier, went right through his hands again. But Neighbors has been the go-to guy, and he's the most explosive guy on the team.
Yeah, I believe you're right in that one. But, man, Malik Neighbors did say after the game he could have had better numbers. He did acknowledge the drops. He said he could have played better. And I think Coach Brian Kelly really appreciates that attitude moving forward where, he won the MVP trophy. He had a great game, but there was things to improve, and that's what he wanted to highlight.
This will be the same venue where LSU opens up the 2023 season, first weekend in September against Florida State. And here is another one of those picks. Had 6 picks going into the game, had 3 yesterday.
Yeah, that was a great play by
Bernard Converse.
Bernard Converse peeled off his man to kind of turn around, a little baseball turn, intercepted the ball. Excellent awareness right there, great ball skills. He got the game ball from Coach Brian Kelly. He did a great job. Transfer as a senior, really played a lot of football, a lot of valuable corner snaps for the LSU Tigers this season.
All right, here's another one of those trick plays that we were talking about, and Kyron Lacey down to the 10-yard line with a pass from Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, both of those guys were wide open. Malik Neighbors did underthrow it a little bit, but nice spiral from the wide receiver right there. I thought he did a good job.
And wide receiver is going to be loaded. Shelton Sampson, Jalen Brown, Kai Preen, Kyle Parker, and Aaron Anderson from the transfer portal. That's a handful. Here's Neighbors once again. getting in the end zone right here with a little dump off.
I believe that is Brian Thomas. He also had 4 catches, 31 yards, and that touchdown right there. Defense played well, Bud, man. Had the 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, only 263 total yards of offense for the Purdue Boilermakers. Had the 3 turnovers, and got to love that 99-yard house call by Coach Frank Wilson's son.
Kudos to Quad Wilson. He's one of the most popular guys on the team. That's Frank's son. Didn't expect him to play much in this game. He gets a tipped INT and takes it to the house. They mobbed him.
That was a touchdown pass from Malik Neighbors. When you have great athletes like that, Bud, man, you kind of just want to go out there and let them make plays. Haven't seen a lot of creativity like that from the Tigers all season, but I like that play call.
Hey, let's do it again in September.
Yeah.
Denbrock, Kelly, let's open it up against September against Florida State. Both those teams probably right around 8, 9, or 10 going into the year, JP.
You saw that second interception by defense right there. That was Brooks, I believe. And here we go. We're off to the races. John Emery getting it all the way down, almost to the 13-yard line. Had a pretty good game, 6 carries, 47 yards, and he did have a touchdown. LSU was running back by committee once again.
Problem with Emery, of course, is the fumbles. If he can get out of that issue. Jaden Daniels, I didn't think looked tremendous, but obviously they are going to work on him passing the football. And once again, another big play for the Tigers right here. This is where he got to be 21 miles an hour plus.
That was the play we showed in the intro that we highlighted it. 21.6 miles an hour. That is the speed of the SEC. Untouched on a little, I mean, you're talking about yards after catch. He caught that ball behind a line of scrimmage. You're talking about 76 yards after the catch.
How about Walker Howard? He looks fast. I think he's got to get bigger and stronger, and we'll see. And here's, once again, Derek Davis. He was in the transfer portal. They said, come on, play the game. He looked good on this run, man.
He did. A guy that changed positions a little bit for LSU. Had him in the secondary, but they swapped him over, changed his number, gave him a few carries, and he did look like he's running with a full head of steam right there.
All right, here's going to be Quad. And as we all know, this is Frank's son, came over from McNeese with Frank. And you see the entourage. I love it when you got guys saying, come on, follow me, follow me.
Yep.
Did a good job of letting his blockers take care of business. Got in the end zone. Everybody is ecstatic.
Yep.
And then, as we know, the guys had a little extra mustard on the hot dog with some of the celebrations yesterday. Right. But you know what Brian Kelly said? Who am I being an old fart to not let them have fun?
Right. He said they were demeaning the other team or some kind of unsportsmanlike action. He would have took action, but he didn't want to get in the way of his guys having fun. There you see the handshake, 63-7. A good showing by the Tigers. Lots of points, lots of scoring. And some good defense. Tell you what, man, 42-0. I was like, man, feeling kind of bad for the Boilermakers. But
sure.
LSU was supposed to dominate that game. They certainly give a good feeling to this LSU faithful going into the offseason. You
know, the other conferences always want to beat down the SEC. Oh, you guys aren't going to do anything in the bowl games. And lo and behold, Tennessee put a butt whipping on Clemson. Alabama woke up sleepy but dominated Kansas State.
Went to that game, bud, man.
Oh, you did?
I was in the Superdome.
Well, what did you think?
Well, first of all, I sat in the Bama section. I was wearing my black collared shirt, my De La Salle hat, so I wanted to be neutral.
All right.
I sat, I guess, 7 rows in front of Kurt Warner and his wife, who was at the suite. His son played for K-State.
Right.
Number 85.
He did a good job,
The game started 10-0. Everybody was kind of feeling it. K-State had a great band. It was a great ceremony before the game. Both bands played. Lots of pageantry. They had a great showing by the KSU fan base. They came out. They were rowdy, and of course you had the pom-poms that were going for Alabama fans. And I guess I had a guy that sat a couple rows behind me, but he was very excited about the Tide. He wanted to scream the entire game by how the defense couldn't leave anything behind. So at one point I just got up and I said, "Hey, roll Tide," and they did not appreciate my accent, bud, man. I don't know. I don't know what it was. But yeah, Sugar Bowl, it was fun, enjoyable. The Superdome alcohol prices, they'll keep you sober, bud, man.
Okay,
they will keep you sober.
I understand what you're saying. But Alabama woke up, and here's the real key to that story. He got Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr. both expected to be top 5. Certainly, Young will be top 5. I don't know where Anderson's going to fall. Maybe top 5 to 10, but he got those guys to play, and that's the one thing you got to give Nick Saban about with culture. That is what Brian Kelly is trying to establish. And Jarek Bernard Converse and Jay Ward playing in this game and not worried about the injury factor. That is just the start of, because JP, in 2024, when you have 12 teams in the CFP these bowl games will be more meaningful. But as you alluded to, it's hard to watch when it's 42-0.
We'll take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. When we come back, we'll go back to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, and we'll hear from the post-game press conference, head coach Brian Kelly, senior Jarek Bernard-Converse, and the MVP sophomore Malik Neighbors. We'll hear from all three of those guys. When we come back, don't go anywhere. You are watching Tigers Roar.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
The season of inspiration is the perfect time to discover the enhanced Mazda CX-5, named a 2022 IIHS Safety Pick Plus Award winner, its highest safety award honor. Choose from over 45 CX-5s available at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin Gallagher. This is Roy Fletcher. We hope you'll join us for Fletch Nation, especially if you like talking politics.
Man, come and join us. We'll give you the information, and then we'll give you the context. And by the way, we'll give you fun, too.
Lots of fun. We hit the local races, the state. We even look at what's going on all across America. And by the way, this space is available. If you'd like to talk about advertising, send your emails to Roy Fletcher at royfletcher.com and join us every week here on the Pelican for Fletch Nation. Caught spiders.
Premier Pest Services.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Continue here on Tigers Roar. LSU football picks up their 10th win of the season after defeating the Purdue Boilermakers 63-7 in the Citrus Bowl, Budman. And after the game, there was post-game press conference with head coach Brian Kelly. He wanted to have Jarek Bernard-Converse with him because he said this is a guy that really embodies commitment. He was a guy who transferred in as a senior. LSU needed a secondary. This is a guy that had a little bit of football left to play, did not have to play in this bowl game, but chose to be there for his team. Came up with a big interception for the Tigers.
And I think he made some money. You know, there's two ways to look at it. We saw the Ole Miss quarterback, Matt Corral, play last year in the Sugar Bowl, got hurt, cost him some money. But all these guys that play and are going on to the next level, like Jay Ward and Bernard-Converse, I think it's going to help them. He's a guy that'll be a leader. He's a communicator. He can play special teams. Wish all those guys the best of luck.
Yeah, it's all about finishing that process. Of course, the bowl game is part of that process for Coach Brian Kelly. He wants to convince these guys if you buy in 100%, you commit to the final product, you'll be a good football player. And Coach Brian Kelly certainly proved this team was very good this past Citrus Bowl. So we'll let you guys hear from the post-game press conference. Here is head coach Brian Kelly, the MVP, Malik Neighbors, and senior defensive back Bernard-Converse.
Yeah, first of all, want to thank Florida Citrus Sports, certainly the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. What a great week. And a great venue. And we appreciate this bowl, and our players really enjoyed being part of the community here. And, look, you get these opportunities and you want to be able to celebrate your season, enjoy the bowls and the atmosphere, and then you want to go play well. And we did that today. We played really well. Our guys executed at a high level. They competed at a high level. We were not at full strength, but that didn't stop our guys from putting in the time and the effort. Jarek is here with me because here's a senior who could have easily not played in this game, but took virtually every snap out there. And so he was our MVP on defense today, and what it means to have somebody like him come into our program and really steady things for us in our program and show what true commitment is and doing it the right way every single day. And obviously Malik was electric today, made big plays all over the field, and that's kind of the mantle, of LSU wide receivers, and it's his opportunity now. And you could see that he wanted to make sure that he made a statement out there today. So congratulations to Purdue. They were in a very difficult situation as well, but our guys handled it well today and played at a high level.
All right. If you have any questions for Coach Malik, or we'll start in the front down here.
Malik, congratulations on getting the Player of the Game award there. 163 with 9 catches, then getting to throw one as well. It's a pretty complete day. Have you ever had a day better than that, or what does it feel like to deliver on the stage like this?
It's a big stage to come out here, in Orlando, in the Citrus Bowl, and perform at a high level and win the MVP award. So, 3 drops, that I could have easily caught, could have changed that, but, I'm very happy with the outcome of this game and hoping to carry on into next year.
All right, we'll stay on the left, second row.
Coach, you said yesterday that it was a plan to stop their passing attack. Had 4 sacks, 3 interceptions. What can you say about the defense's performance?
Amazing, right? I mean, we drew it up on a napkin, and the guys just. For me, it was fun to watch them play today because they played with great effort, great desire. The will to win these games is obviously, important. You got to have that. But they executed a defense that we had only put in for about 2.5 weeks, and really proud of their execution and the way they played today.
We'll stay on the left, and then we'll go to the riser.
Brian, I guess what could you say about what have you seen from Malik's development since you got here, and what do you think he can be next year as kind of the main guy?
Yeah, I just think he's maturing. I think we've gone through, understanding, how to be in the right zone emotionally to his preparation in practice, where he's preparing harder than anybody else, to, flipping the switch to performance. Look, he mentioned one of the drops. He drops the ball, but he comes back the very next play and makes a spectacular play. His ability to focus and then refocus, that's the maturity that you see from Malik in terms of how he's grown in this past year, and I'm really proud of him.
All right, go to the back of the room on the riser.
Questions for Jarek. A lot has been made about what Purdue is missing, but I think those of us that cover you know what you're missing as well. Just if you would talk about the job that you guys as the secondary did in the defensive front, really to fill in those holes, whether it's Makai, Jacoby, and whomever, Jay stepping up big again.
We just wanted to go out there and attack the game plan and just execute on every phase, starting with the front 4 all the way to the back end. We just wanted to go out there and just do our job and get this 10th win. So
we'll go to the back.
Malik, for you, what does a performance like this allow you to be able to do in taking this type of momentum into your junior season?
This performance, it shows that, I'm able to, come out here, perform at a high level with anybody, in any conference. So it's something that I can build on to next year, keep my confidence up.
We'll go back on the left.
You've had quite the past year. When you look at 10 wins, a Citrus Bowl win, and everything you've gone through, what will stand out from your first year at LSU?
Probably the relationships with the players and developing, new relationships with, 115 players and getting to know them. That to me in year one, the first time here, you don't know any of the players and they don't know you. I think our first press conference, I keep saying press conference, our first meeting said, hey, we're going to build trust, but it's going to take time for both sides. And I think that's what happened. And I'll remember that in year one, that process of building trust.
All right, we'll go to the back, and then we'll come back up here.
Coach, here in the back, obviously you can't have fun if you don't win, but it seemed like you got here a week early, you did some things, the team had a good time, you called some plays today that seemed kind of fun, and were you okay with them and celebrating the way they did, jumping on the couch?
I was, actually, and obviously I probably crossed the line a little bit and got a penalty that's out of character for me, so I didn't apologize for the team, but they'll hold me accountable for it with SWAT points probably. But look, I just if they were to do something that was demeaning to the other team or not in good sportsmanship, we would have taken action. But they were having fun with each other, and if a bunch of old men can't get out of the way of that, we're in a bad spot. So let them have fun and enjoy it, and at least that's the way I saw it.
All right, we'll take one right here, and then we'll come down in front.
Hey, Coach. With Garrett, was the plan always for him to get some reps into this game, and how would you sort of evaluate his performance from today?
I thought he did well. I mean, and we made it clear he was going to go in the third series, and I didn't know what was going to happen after that, but just made it clear to him, go in, do your job. You got a job to do, get it done, and then we'll roll after that and see how it goes. And obviously he played a lot more. Way the game was kind of trending, he got even more playing time. But there's no quarterback controversy. Jalen is our number one quarterback. Garrett will get an opportunity to compete, though. And look, the most important thing is when you have two really good quarterbacks, you have to have an open mind. You can't be closed-minded when you're looking at two, elite quarterbacks. So what we've committed to is an open mind and an open process where you can go in and, we're going to give you an opportunity to continue to grow. And then, that's going to allow both of our quarterbacks and Walker to continue to grow as quarterbacks at LSU.
Was the post-game press conference from the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. 63-7, LSU is victorious over the Purdue Boilermakers. I thought it was a very good presser for Coach Brian Kelly and the two players he had next to him. Well-spoken, good character guys. Malik Neighbors was very humble, even though he just showed out, got the MVP trophy, was very complimentary of all the players on his team. Coach was asked about, Quad Wilson returning the kick, and, Malik Neighbors was the first one to say, you don't know how much Quad does for us on scout team. He does it, he's scout team every week. He pushes us to be better. He's flying around, giving 100% at practice, and y'all know how much that means to us. And really happy for that young man to get that opportunity in the bowl game and get the 99-yard touchdown. Awesome for him and his family.
Look, I said that none of us predicted what LSU would achieve this year, 10 wins and all the other things that we've talked about all year long. I got to be honest with you. Mike Norvell was pretty much in a hot seat over at Florida State. They've developed into a pretty good football team, and they are killing it in the transfer portal. So that is going to be where do you have LSU preseason ranking next year?
Somewhere high teens, somewhere 12, 13, 14
I was thinking
maybe.
10, 11, 12, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And, of course, we know that Florida State could be in that same neighborhood.
Right.
So big one. I didn't have too many friends that went. All the media people that went enjoyed it. And, look, this is just the start. As we know, Scott Woodward's done a good job of hiring coaches. Now the emphasis will start to be thrown towards Kim Mulkey and Matt McMahon. Once again, we are taping on January the 3rd. That is a Tuesday. They'll play Kentucky. Here are my 4 checklist things that they've got to do to possibly pull the upset. 10.5 points underdog. But, JP, as you know, when you get in there and Rupp, now Kentucky just got beat by double digits last week by Missouri.
Right.
So that crowd is going to be just waiting to pounce on LSU. So first check, got to get a good start. Only turned it over 10 times last week against Arkansas, so protect the rock. Second check, KJ Williams. Sheeby is going to be there down low. He cannot afford to get 2 or 3 silly foul calls. Third check, got to make a more of a pass or 2 or 3. Way too many one-on-one dribble drive, 3-point shots from the guards. And then, of course, the fourth thing, JP, if you're going to beat teams like Kentucky or anybody else in the SEC, got to make foul shots, 1-and-1s down the stretch. I want to say that I could predict a win, but I got a feeling the SEC referees are going to give Kentucky a little bit of an edge tonight. So I got Kentucky winning by 5. But Kim Mulkey's got them up to number 7. They just torched the last couple of teams they played. And, of course, baseball, as we said, in February. So good time for you Tiger fans to get ready for another exciting year. And 2023 opening up at Florida State. A lot of road games early. JP, in his schedule for football, 5 of the last 6 games on the LSU schedule at home. Only game on the road late is at Alabama. So I'm thinking another year of 10 wins, possibly 10-2 in the regular season.
Another quick break here on Tigers Roar, but first remind you guys, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. If you missed any of this program or any Tigers Roar in the past, go check out our YouTube page and click subscribe. Also click the notification button so you get notified every time we post something new there on YouTube. Once again, youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Another quick break. You are watching Tigers Roar.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
You could be driving a...
Now's the time to save on new Accords during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana. Get our lowest prices and biggest savings on our largest selection of Accords this year. Hurry in and save during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda of Acadiana, I-49 just south of Opelousas.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar, ready to give that last segment of this episode to you. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Remind you, come check out Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. Bring the whole family. It's a great place to get something to eat. Great atmosphere. TVs everywhere. Come check out a good game. Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard. All right, bud, man, now that Coach Brian Kelly's first year is in the books, the bowl game's over, signed the recruiting class, got the transfers in the portal, still open window there to add a few more guys, but go ahead and give your overall grade of how he handled everything from December 1 of 2021 to right now.
Interesting, Mike Denbrock at the press conference at the Citrus Bowl actually did admit that what we've been saying, it takes a year or two for you to get the lay of the land in the SEC. I think Matt House would agree with that. I think Brian Kelly would agree with that. Just on the defense, everybody's got edge rushers. Everybody's got corners that can play press and cover one-on-one. But for the most part, I think everybody I've talked to, JP, a solid B+. Some areas were A, some areas were C. Special teams still in the D, even though they did not rear their ugly head this past game. But that being said, I think that look, this Lance Hurd coming in from Neville. I don't know if you and your son saw him at all this year.
Not live.
But he's telling Brian Kelly, I'm coming to play left tackle. Of course, his best friend is Will Campbell, so they're going to have a ton of talent at the offensive line. Went heavy in the transfer portal for defensive linemen. As we know, Mason Smith, the guy's got to get a break. Still the flukiest injury I've ever seen at LSU. Mekhi Wingo is back. Got to get some linebackers that can tackle and guard. What are you going to do with Harold Perkins? They want to move him inside. And if you saw the game yesterday, he was inside and playing the spy role on that quarterback, but you still need him on the outside because of the way he can tweak that body and get pressure. But I kind of reiterated a couple times. Only 6 INTs going into this game. They got 3. So they got 9 in 14 games. Got to do better than that. Only 25 sacks going in. What did they get yesterday? 4? 4. So 29 sacks in 14 games, just not good enough. So I want to see him dial up the pressure. But all in all, when you talk about what he inherited and the culture and let's just call it the doo-doo that was on the floor of what he came into, just a fantastic job. And invariably, the question is going to be, how many years does Nick Saban have left? And at what point does the SEC West go through Baton Rouge and not Tuscaloosa? Now, we know Nick is going to probably stay around to win one more. Then you think he might go?
I will never pretend to know when that man will finally be ready to hang it up, because he is still. I had this conversation over the holidays with my friend, and the only reason that anybody really understood the parity of college football this year is because Alabama wasn't as dominant as they have been for the past 12 years. Sure. I mean, and we talk about it all the time, how hard it is to get a group of kids to mentally be ready to play their best every single week during the season is very difficult to do. The level, the standard that he has brought is incredible. I mean, incredible. And they've lost a couple games this year, and everybody's like, "Oh, Alabama fell off." And then as soon as they shellacked WSU, K-State in the Sugar Bowl, everybody's like, "Well, now Alabama was obviously supposed to be in the Final Four," which I don't agree with, but still. The standard of Alabama football since Nick Saban has taken over has been so incredible that I couldn't even I don't want to insult the man by pretending I know when he's going to be done.
Well, I think he's going to win one more and then go to the house. NIL and all the other things have changed the game, and it's becoming more like semi-pro and pro, and I think that's what he wanted to get away from. Kirby Smart, of course, this was a crazy story. Now, Kirby Smart was on the staff with Nick Saban for 1 year at LSU. And Nick always used to make fun of him. But Kirby is walking around with a 4-leaf clover. Last year, Jamison Williams, Alabama's best, and Mechie, those guys get hurt, and Georgia puts the pedal down and beats Alabama late in a championship game after losing to them in the SEC championship game. This year, Marvin Harrison Jr. goes down, and that was an impact. But Ryan Day, how many times do we have to tell you, man, when you get your hands on it, squeeze it and finish it. And I was going nuts watching him mismanage the clock. the way he did. These hurry-up, quick-tempo teams, it drives me bananas when they don't realize at the end of the game, you need to soak that freaking clock every second.
Yeah.
He was snapping at JP with 20 and 21 seconds twice in the fourth quarter.
Nah, but man, I thought about you, and we've often had this conversation on this desk right here where we talk about Georgia and Kirby. Not so smart.
I can't call him that anymore because he's won one.
And now, look, all during that game, I'm thinking of Bud, man. Kirby, not so smart, gonna blow it. Lose to the number 4 seed, gonna blow it. And then it comes down to a 4th down, right? And Ohio State fakes the punt, and they get it. You're like, holy smokes. Oh, but wait. Kirby Smart calls the best timeout that I've ever personally seen in a big game. I mean, that was excellent coaching right there. He understood. He's like, look, they got a couple fakes off against this year. They had 2 successful fakes pulled against Georgia during the season. He noticed the look, called the timeout. Can't say Kirby not so smart anymore. That was a very smart timeout.
Well, and he might have got that from upstairs, but he did it right before the play. They would have picked up the first down. Ed Ogeron in 19, right before half, there was a 3rd down. They couldn't agree on the play call, and he actually ran down there and called it. That's when they had the quarterback draw, and Burrow got in the end zone to extend the lead. But it's amazing how important those timeouts are and timely. But back to Ryan Day, man, I got to ask you. Now, Harbaugh is already flirting.
Oh, yeah.
And he is
one foot out the door.
Poor, pitiful me. I don't think he wants any more of Michigan. I think he wants to go back to NFL.
Yep.
But Ryan Day, can you imagine what this show would be like if we were in Columbus, Ohio? Ooh, we'd have these sunglasses on.
Well, you never want to come down to the kicker, okay? Especially in college, especially when it's a 50-yarder with no time left on the clock, and it's to take the lead in a game that's going to put you in the championship. There was a lot of things that had to go right for that kicker to even get an opportunity. Unfortunately, it comes down to the kicker way too often in college football.
But he didn't try. Once he got to the 32-yard line, he didn't try to pick up any closer. He was very conservative. So, look, I think we all have a tendency to blame coaches. But Kirby is sitting pretty with the good Lord because had Marvin Harrison not got hurt, I don't know if they would have won that football game, JP.
But getting back to LSU, Bud, man, year 1 in the books with the signing class that they brought in, with the transfer portals they got, the entire offensive line coming back, Jaden Daniels coming back. You have the quarterback room that's going to be very crowded. Coach Brian Kelly was asked about this in the postgame. Do you expect to have all 3 quarterbacks in the spring? Coach Brian Kelly emphatically said, yes, we fully intend to have all 3 quarterbacks. We're going to give them all a chance to grow. He didn't want to say that there was a quarterback controversy, but that's what we're talking about, a quarterback controversy. To me, Nussmeier shows more arm talent, but I'm not going to say lack of security, but Jaden Daniels was elite this year in the turnover department. He did not give the ball away. Nussmeier, in very limited action, had that turnover bug a little bit. So they both get an offseason to grow. Going to come into a very talented room with the same staff, which is, I think, is a very big deal to these college kids. That they get a whole turnover of coaches from one year to the next is going to help a lot of guys a lot. And then you bring in more talent on the outside. I would give it, if you ask me, Bud, man, I give Coach Brian Kelly an A-. You drop the Florida State game, that brings it from an A+ down. You lose to Texas A&M, had no business losing that game, even though Texas A&M very talented, but should have won that game. That brings it down. But you mentioned it. From what he inherited to right now, how hot this team is, the feeling you have to just beating down a Purdue team with Drew Brees on the sideline. The first time I ever want to cheer against Drew Brees on a sideline full of black and gold, but it was happening. Excellent spot for the Tigers. And you go back just 1 year, Bud, man, what shape this program was in. That warrants an A grade, in my opinion, for Coach Brian Kelly.
All right. Well, look, I'll give him B++. Obviously, we will see. They still need a few more corners. They need a center. They need a linebacker. They will mix and match with these last transfer portals. They signed most of all the high school recruits that they did early. I'm not sure. By the way, 4 weeks from tomorrow will be the second signing period at February 1. But, look, I do think it takes a year and a half to get acclimated. See, next year he'll play at Alabama for the first time.
Right.
And so you talk about, but he accomplished a lot. Beating Florida and Auburn on the road, first time ever. And back to Jaden Daniels, second most yardage accrued behind Joe Burrow, who had 6,000 yards and 60 passing touchdowns. Jaden Daniels, second most yardage running and passing. And then he caught a touchdown from Malik Neighbors at the end. So here's what I think. And I know coaches don't want to hear it, but when Nussmeier came in, third series, what did you think?
Initially, I was like, man, did something happen to Jaden? Is he out? Because you don't used to seeing him rotate quarterbacks, and I didn't know if something happened. I didn't see him go down, but initially I thought maybe something tweaked in the ankle or something. But
I liked it.
I also did. I liked it.
I liked it, but you made a great point. Here's the problem, Nuss. You don't want to be classified as a gunslinger. You got to protect the football better. Nuss has 7 touchdown passes, and he's turned it over 6 times.
Yep.
So, and look, by the way, that little pop pass to Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, that counts. That counts.
That counts, but that's kind of a cheap touchdown pass. But my point is that I think that they may not want to say this, but, man, when you got Jaden Daniels and you load him up for a quarter and then you bring in a guy with that kind of arm talent and all the receivers they coming in, you have a problem playing 2 because you never know when to take out the first guy. But I think you may see a little bit more of what we saw in the bowl game next year in the regular season.
I really can't say enough about defensive lineman Mason Smith. We saw him go out against Florida State. First game of the year. He stayed engaged the entire season, but man, you saw him at all the team activities, helping his guys warm up before the game, like showing them, giving them little pointers, instructions. I thought that was a huge step in leadership for Mason Smith. I mean, to not only stay engaged, but I mean to actively be giving pointers before the game, like helping your guys develop. Kudos to that young man. That takes a special makeup, a special character for that kid to stay engaged like that.
Yeah, he must not be superstitious. Of course, Mason Smith is the one and only LSU football player to ever wear the number 0. And I would love to see him. This is money year next year, man. He can go out after next year. But overall, I think most Tiger fans would give Brian Kelly and the football team excellent marks for first year in Tiger Town.
So we got Georgia versus TCU for the national championship, January 9th. It's going to be 6:30 on ESPN. You saw both teams had very close games in the playoff. TCU knocks off Michigan 51-45. That quarterback, Duggan. I mean, what a tough as nails kid. It's hard not to root for that guy, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Georgia beating Ohio State 42-41 in that last second extra point to take the lead. 2 fantastic games. Great for college football. Both games super exciting.
Awesome games. Defense. The days of 9-6 with LSU and Alabama are over. By the way, Stetson Bennett the 4th. People have thrown this to me. He reminds me a little bit of Drew Brees. You buy that?
No,
I didn't say that either.
No, he couldn't dice a defense like Drew Brees could.
No way. But he's had a hell of a career at Georgia, and for a walk-on, that would be pretty decent.
So early feelings, bud, man. Who you got? Georgia, TCU.
Georgia has got too much talent. TCU would be a great Cinderella story, but I'm going to take Georgia. I don't know if they'll cover the 14 and a half.
Yeah, Coach of the Year from TCU did a great job all year for the Horned Frogs. And that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Tigers Roar. Remember, if you missed anything in this program, rate Tigers Roar in the past, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. We keep everything archived there for your viewing pleasure, so go check it out. And while you're there, click subscribe and hit the notifications button so you know every time we post something new at the Pelican. For our Florida Director, Marty, AT, and Katie in the truck, for the Bud Man, I'm Jonathan Poche. We thank you for watching this episode of Tigers Roar.
Happy New Year, everybody.